Hello everyone, it is your creative makeup artist pal Cat Sketch to bring you guys another makeup transformation inspired by the newest American Horror Story season called Dollhouse. This season is with 1961's Miss Colby Dellum, who applies lipstick in her car preparing for a job interview. But inside is plastic and molded and sculpted into dolls and packaged under the watchful eye of Mr. Van Wert. He considers dolls without sin. She feels like she is not right for this job position when she meets Van Wert as his assistant, and he grabs and gags her from behind, and she wakes up in an eccentric design dollhouse full of mannequins. So today we're going to do a makeup look inspired by that of a doll and talk about haunted doll stories. This is from Anonymous that I found online. And they begin their story by saying, "I'm not sure if I believe in haunted dolls or not, but my doll in the past few months has me questioning it. I started collecting thrift store dolls in October of last year. I got 2 in 2021 and 4 so far in 2022. I've always been very in tune spiritually with things since I was a little kid. The first doll seems completely normal and empty. The second doll, Cordelia, is no longer in my possession. She lives at my parents' house. She always had a calm and positive energy. She looks very goth and has a key that can be turned and plays music. It's like an old music box. You'd hear it in horror movies, but I've always loved it. She lived in the basement but loathed the laundry room, although that's where my family has always placed her, back there. I got the sense that she loved listening to calm music and watching certain old TV programs. It's like looking at her, I could sense that what she liked as well as when she was in my dreams. I feel a strong and positive, happy energy fill the room. Unfortunately, a few weeks after I got her and regularly let her listen to music on the TV and watch shows, the TV broke while she was sitting there watching it. It was an old TV and bound to break, but it still seriously broke while she was enjoying a program. I don't think it was on purpose because she loved the TV and was quite sad when it broke. She never scared me. I could tell when my family moved her back to the laundry room instead of the room next door because I could feel a certain discomfort in the air. My cat loved her too. I mean, absolutely adored her. She'd get excited to see Cordelia, rub her face against her, purr when she was in reach, cuddle in her lap, play with her. She never showed the same interest in my first doll. Then there was Caroline. At the thrift store, I was unsure whether or not to buy her, but her eyes were so mesmerizing. She drew me in. I had dreams about her too, but they were much vaguer. All I really got from them was that she liked being called Caroline. Caroline was obsessed with Cordelia. She didn't like my cat or the people, but she loved Cordelia. She was never malicious towards anybody, never gave people nightmares, or threatened them or made them feel sick. She simply was a loner. I could sense how strongly Caroline loved Cordelia. In my dream, she begged to be placed next to her. If they were separated, even if I was in a different room, I could tell just from the discomfort in the air. The girls would bicker a bit because Caroline loved the laundry room and Cordelia hated it, but otherwise they loved each other. The cat didn't pay much attention to Caroline. When a friend of mine who's also in tune spiritually visited the doll, she couldn't bear to be in the same room as Caroline and said she felt a deeply negative, malicious energy. She urged me to get rid of her. Every time we talk about Caroline, a wild animal could be spotted. It was most often when we were driving that we talk about her. We mention her and see a squirrel out the window, a bunny hopping by, a deer trying to cross the road, or a bird flying. Even if we were indoors, we'd spot animals out the window. They'd only appear at the mention of Caroline. My fourth doll is Sarah. The only odd thing about Sarah is the first night I had her, I had a very vivid dream involving her. She was moving around, messing with my head, and threatening me. In the end, I had to smash her to dust with a hammer, pour a flammable substance on her, and light her on fire. A female adult ghost scream escaping from her. Other than that, in the past week, I've had her, nothing else has happened to her. Without further evidence, I think it was just a nightmare and not proof she's malicious. She has done nothing else malicious or evil. She has no negative energy. And finally, there's Eugene. He has really powerful energy attached to him. He absolutely freaks my boyfriend out, and my boyfriend wants him gone. He's fine with all my other dolls except Eugene. Eugene has a strange twinkle in his eyes. At night, particularly between 2 and 4 a.m., he has such a strong energy it feels like a force field. It physically pains me and gives me a tight feeling in my chest to go within a few feet of him at these hours. I've been having intense, unexplainable anxiety at night since getting him. He hasn't been in any of my dreams yet, but my dreams have been much more memorable and vivid. I was watching Supernatural the other day with him in the room, and I could feel this intense happy energy coming from him. He absolutely loved it. Like with the other dolls, I sense when he loves something. I don't know if I'm crazy with these experiences. The next few stories are about some very popular haunted dolls. The first one being Okiku. Every year this doll's hair grows up to its knees, and then it's trimmed back just below shoulder length. In 1918, a young man bought this doll for his 2-year-old sister. The two of them became inseparable until her ultimate death. Soon after this, the family noticed that the doll's hair is getting longer and longer. The next doll is named Peggy. 80% of the people who come into contact with Peggy, or even look at her, experience some kind of bad reaction that ranges from headaches to a full-blown mania. Peggy was believed to be causing bad dreams to the family who owned it. The family even brought in a priest to bless their home, but the situation worsened and they sold the doll. The next doll is Jolette. The doll was not only haunted but also cursed. It was known to cause the death of the owner's baby boy. This century-old doll was believed to give out piercing cries of a baby boy in the night. Only the mother of the deceased child could hear the cries. Anna G. presently has this doll, and the family keeps passing it on from one generation to another even after it's been cursed. The next doll is Caroline, who's believed to have 3 different owners who choose it to be the vessel of their spirits. All 3 of its owners are dead, and they are believed to be fighting over its control. This doll was last seen in 2004 at an antique shop in Salem, Massachusetts. It's been missing since its last owner died in 2006. There's a doll named Letta. This doll causes its viewers to go into fits and hysterics. It's also said to be able to move on its own accord. It changes positions, or at times, pulsing when being held. This doll was created by a doll maker as a look-alike for his son who died of drowning at the age of 6. It's believed that the doll still contains a little boy's soul that's not malicious. This is Patty Reed's doll. It's a doll that has witnessed a lot of atrocities when it's stranded with its owner in the snow for months. This Patty Reed doll has an 8-year-old owner of the doll that belonged to the Donner family. Once the family was stranded in the snow, they could survive only by eating mice, animals, and eventually each other. While most of those stranded died, only the little girl, Patty, who had hidden the doll beneath the clothes, survived. There is a doll that ages like a human. It was once baby face. This doll now has wrinkles all over its body and looks like an old lady. This doll aged like a person does, when the family kept it locked in a box for around 11 years. There's a doll named Amelia. Amelia is often reported to be sad, and people see sorrow in her eyes. The doll lost its voice box in a bomb blast but still cries for its mama. The doll lost both its arms and scalp in a bomb blast when its owner Marie was traveling on a train. The doll is possessed by the spirit of a woman who tried to escape the train but couldn't. Marie is now dead. Her daughter takes care of the doll. There's the Janesville doll, and people have reported seeing this doll walking around the attic, giggling like a child, and at times even staring at them and chasing them on the street. This doll was owned by a man whose daughter had accidentally died or was allegedly murdered. No one knows the real story, so the doll was placed in memory of the lost soul. There's a creepy voodoo zombie doll that is known to attack its owner several times. When a woman in Texas bought a real haunted voodoo zombie doll on eBay in 2004, all her attempts to sell the doll or burn it proved to be failure. She would find it sitting in the living room at night making weird noises. Later, she called for a priest who blessed the doll and locked it up in her basement. There's a doll named Poopa. The doll's confined in a glass cabinet, which doesn't seem like much. It keeps knocking on the glass cabinet to get out. This doll was made in the likeness of her owner, who was a young girl in Italy, who lived with it for 85 long years. The little girl who owned Poopa often stated that her doll was alive and had a will of its own. She would often talk with the doll and said that Poopa held all of her secrets. There's a doll named Harold. Its owner reported that he could hear laughing and crying of a baby from the basement where the doll was stored. He also claimed the doll seemed to have a pulse. The man who sold this doll on eBay was petrified by its presence. He lost his cat, his girlfriend, and himself, and started suffering from chronic migraines. And lastly, there's a doll named Patty. This doll was used to perform black magic. Nancy Oyola inherited over $300 from her grandmother, who was a psychic. Most of the dolls are believed to be haunted, and Patty is among one of them. Those are some of the more popular creepy haunted dolls. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup of me transforming into a creepy doll myself, inspired by the new American Horror Story season Dollhouse. Thank you all so much for watching. This was so much fun. I cannot wait to see this season. Leave me a comment down below on what you would love to see on my channel next. If I love your idea, I'll definitely pick it and transform into something amazing that you come up with. New videos will be on this channel every Friday, and I'll talk to you then. See you in the next video. Have sweet dreams. Bye.